Doga Eralp is a Senior Professorial Lecturer at American University. He offers his opinion on the temporary pause and on developments to watch.
What I would say is that the sanctions threat by the US government definitely motivated the Erdogan and his proxies to reevaluate in whether they should continue rejecting this offer by President Trump and whether they should receive Pompeo and Mike Pence. And rightfully they ended up receiving, and after hours-long conversation they agreed on this accord.
How significant is this development, and is 5 days enough to sort of bring tensions down and stop the violence?
Well, some argue this agreement is rather hard to implement if you don't involve the Syrian armed forces and the Russians, and because these two, and along with Iran obviously, are the important actors that could really convince YPG to move out of that area. Another important issue that needs to be addressed has been agreed upon that text, whether that 32 kilometers or 20-mile deep area would actually indeed be controlled by Turkey or by the Syrian army, who already have been moving into towns controlled by the Kurds on the Turkish border. And how would that actually work out? Because if you look into the text of the agreement, it quotes the UN Security Council resolution that underlines the international community's respect to the territorial integrity of Syria. So there's another complication for you. Another unknown is within the completion of 120 hours, Erdogan is flying to Moscow to meet with Putin. So without getting the green light, as the recent lexicon goes, from Moscow, this agreement will not necessarily be able to be implemented.
What are you going to look for in that meeting between Erdogan and Putin next week?
So
what will you watch for?
I will watch for the type of responsibilities the Russian forces would be willing to assume to remove the concerns of Turkey. Basically, that talks about having these YPG fighters right off the Turkish border, which Turkey sees as a national threat, and instead have them be replaced either by Russian forces that would patrol the border in association with the Syrian army, and then some sort of a mechanism, oversight mechanism, whether the YPG militants moved out of that declared safe zone.
And between now and the end of that 5-day deadline, what do you think we'll see happen in this period, and what do you think will happen once it ends?
Iran, Russia, they still have to weigh in. The Assad government have to respond. And we really need to see a more clear statement by the Syrian Democratic Forces spokesperson. So what I have heard so far, the same spokesperson gave two very different statements regarding the agreement. When spoken to a Western news agency, he said SDF is in favor of the agreement, but when spoke to a Arab mainstream media channel, he actually denounced the agreement, saying it violates what Kurds have been intending to achieve against the Turkish invasion in northern Syria. So first we need to see a more clear statement by the SDF. Then we need to wait to hear what the Syrian government will say. And last but not least, I think the most critical actor here is Putin, how he's going to approach Erdogan and his concerns on 22nd of October.
Doga Eralp, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.